Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being on today's webinar. We'll get started here in just a second, so please hang tight. We're just going to give people a few more minutes to jump on, and then we will get started. Okay, I think we have everyone on. So we'll go ahead and get started. Again, thank you for being here. My name is Lauren Conaway. I'm the marketing manager here at Principal LED, and today's presentation will be brought to you by Derek Hopper, our VP of Engineering, and Daryl Foreman, our Senior VP of Sales. If you have any questions throughout today's presentation, please feel free to send those over through the questions tab, and we'll make sure that the guys get those answered for y'all. You can also locate the data sheets for the products that we'll be covering for today's launch in the handout section. So please feel free to download those. They will be available on our website starting today and in our online catalog as well. But if you want to go ahead and download those, you have them there in the handout section. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Derek.
Thank you, Lauren. As she said, my name is Derek Hopper. For those of you that don't know me or haven't been on one of these before, I'm the VP of Engineering, and I'll be assisted today by Daryl Foreman. And I'm sure everyone out there knows him. He is well known, and we're grateful to have him. We'll jump right in. So today we've got a few new products to show you. Some of them are going to include updates and the newest version of existing products. Others are going to be brand new, and we're excited to go over them with you today. So we've got our 24-volt micro drivers that we'll be discussing, a new 24-volt tap-out HE module, which of course we're Principal LED and we'll put anything on a stick. So we also made a new tap-out stick that is a true 24-volt product. We have a new version of our back bend that is a wider profile that we'll be discussing, as well as a new product in the Flex line called the Flex Pod. So, quick overview of our modules. We're best known for our Quick Mod series when it comes to 12-volt applications. We have our Patriot series that is made here in the United States at our San Angelo facility in Texas. We have our most recent addition, the Pinnacle series, which is a high efficient 4-diode 24-volt option. And then our newest line is the one highlighted in blue, which is going to be our tap-out 24-volt. We've had the 12-volt version of this for going on 6 years now, give or take. It's been very popular, and we knew that it would be well received if we gave it some upgrades and made it into a 24-volt platform. So this does use the same chip that we use in our Pinnacle HE module. So the benefit there is that if for some reason you have a channel letter or cabinet application where you need the extra 170 optic that we have on the Pinnacle, and you have in that same letter set or cabinet a deeper application where maybe you don't need that wide of a beam spread, you need more light at the face, you can use the tap out module. And the benefit there is that since it uses the same chip, you are not going to have any issues with color matching. These are both in 6500K and they use the exact same chip, so there is no problem mixing and matching these together. So as I mentioned before, with all of our stuff, we inevitably end up putting everything on a stick. Our Patriot stick has been out for a while now. We have always had our 12 volt tap out stick. And then we're going to go over some of the advantages that having the new module and how we designed it play into the total system cost, the lowering of total system cost for you guys when you're out selling signs. So biggest thing off the bat you're going to notice is that if you guys have used our tap out 12 volt sticks before, you know that they are 2.2 mods per foot and they are very tight and close together. The wire gaps are very small. And at the time we did that to make sure you were getting the absolute maximum light at the face. It was completely designed around making sure that you had the brightest option available for the customers out there that weren't as worried about having something that was super efficient. If you wanted something that would light well, but you wanted a low system cost, you could go to the Pinnacle stick or the Patriot. But if you just wanted the brightest thing out there, you needed to have the tap out sticks. So with using a new high efficient chip in these products, what we were able to do is increase the lumens per module. But then because we had this, or even more lumens per module, we could spread these out to 1.32 mods per foot. So fully stretched, these are within 10%, I believe, the same lumens per foot as the 12 volt version. So, you're getting the same lumens per foot as you had before, but you're spacing them out further. And the benefit there is, once again, you are now on a 24 volt platform, which means that instead of having to use a 60 watt, you're using 100 watt, and you're spreading these modules further apart. So not only is your oh, sorry about that. I had a call coming in. Not only is your total run, the number of modules you're getting on there even greater than they were before, you are getting even more run footage out of it because we have spaced them further apart without sacrificing the high lumen output that the product is known for in the 12 volt platform. All right, moving on from the tap out products, we're going on to our border products. A lot of you are familiar with our Gen 2. It's our rigid border product, has a nice thick profile for if you have a high rise, anything in that nature. We've been successful with it, and it's still going to be the go-to if you have any rigid applications that you need for accent lighting or border lighting. We also have our standard light tape if you're doing end or counter lighting or making a glow in an alcove, anything like that. And then within the last 3 years, we've also launched our Flex product, which is kind of the faux neon offering that we provide. We've had it in a back bend and side bend fashion, which the back bend is quarter inch, give or quarter inch to half an inch wide, and is good when you're doing, again, just like with the Gen 2, architectural border wrapping, anything of that nature where you want it to look like neon. And then the side bend you could use for the same applications, but it also, because of the way it bends, was good for script letters if you wanted to make some kind of channel letter set that was being retrofit from neon. So the newest offering is going to be the wide flex. So, we got some feedback and we actually did a program where we were asked to take the profile and the idea behind our backbend product and make it a bigger profile while lowering the output. They had a very special set of conditions they wanted us to meet for the program. But the upside is that by the time it was all said and done, when we started doing some comparisons, this is the same lumens per foot as our Gen 2 product. So if you've used the Gen 2 product and like the output, like the glow that it creates, and but you like the bigger profile that Gen 2 makes on the side of a building, we now have a flex offering that has a 1.25 inch wide profile, as well as the same lumens per foot as we had on the Gen 2. The benefit here is that you have less components. So obviously you're going to be able to zip up a track that this will slip right into, and you can actually run 46 feet off of 196 power supply for this product. For comparison, that's just short of double for our back bend and side bend, and it's about 25% more run footage on the than the Gen 2 rigid product is. So we're excited to be able to bring this one to you. All right. This will be available in the standard 6500K with white jacketing. And then, as you can see on the pictures on the left here, we will also be providing these in a red, blue, and green option with color match jacketing to make sure that whether it's on or off, it's going to be the same color both night and day. And on the right-hand side, you'll notice that we have our end caps. This is the end feed for the wire for any custom cuts we make, and then the end cap, and then the track there at the bottom along with the dimensions. Right now, these are in 1 meter or 3.28 foot sections. They are already being worked on to come in 8-foot sections, and we will be sure to let you guys know when the 8-foot sections are available. All right, moving on to our newest offering in the Flex line is going to be the Flex Pod. I'm not sure how many of you out there are familiar with our Pod 3 downlighter product or the Pod family itself, but it has a specialized optic on it that instead of casting the light in all directions at 170 degrees or 160 like on the tap out, this one is a 15 by 40. So what that means is that you're going to have as you go along the path, you're going to have a real narrow beam, but then it's going to fan out so that you can do cove lighting. We use it when we're using doing the downlighters for petroleum and gas stations, things like that, and it gives a nice wash all the way down up to about 20 feet. And then the optic helps prevent any scalloping that you might see on a more reflective surface. This is the Flex version of those products. It has chips in there that have a smaller version of this lens on top, and then the whole thing is injection molded with silicone. So the benefit we see here is that you're going to be able to put these in applications where if you're going under a cove where they want some lighting around their building, whether it be architectural, accent lighting, whatever the case may be, you're going to be able to, if you have any curves in that roof or that ceiling, you're going to be able to just follow this along without having to make a break and create some kind of budding that might be less aesthetically pleasing to the customer. And then the advantage of using this in an architectural capacity versus even our own pod products is that functionally these are going to do the same thing, but aesthetically you do have a lot of customers out there that are really really take their image seriously. And even though it's unlikely that a random customer outside of the sign industry is going to look up at lights and notice the little things, we will, and the customer will. So being able to look up and seeing not only that these lights are lighting their cove and providing a downlight or accent lighting, but that it also has a clean look to it. It's not a bunch of individual modules that have wire gaps in between them or anything like that, is really something that we think is going to hit off with the customers really well. And then for those of you that are familiar with our side bend, there's a chain product as well as the track. So you can, if you're doing a straightaway application, you can use the track there, the second picture down that you see. And again, this is from 1 meter sections. And then you can see above it, there is a flexible track. And what that one does is allows you to go along those curves or any angles that you might run across when you're doing installations.
And just keep in mind that the data sheets are in the handout section. So if you want to see the full lineup of the specs on these products, you can find them in the handouts.
All right. So last little bit we're going to talk about is what we hit on, I think, the first couple slides on our new power supply. We have had a offering for a micro driver in 12 volt 60 watt unit for years. And while it doesn't come up often, we do like the idea of, we've had some customers out there asking us for, hey, this is great, but do you have it in a 24 volt solution? Sometimes they have larger letters that are using a 24 volt product and are self-contained, and they need something with a low profile. And this is exactly what it allows you to do. If you do have a channel letter where you need to self-contain them and put them in, you're going to want to make sure that you do have a low profile that won't create shadows, but does allow you to populate the entire letter without having to do multiple power supplies. So 24 volt is good there. You're also going to see good use for it in applications where real estate is limited. You know, you may have a building or you may have a spot where you can put all the power supplies, but because of existing materials there or just how it was designed, you know, that space was designed, you may not have enough room to use a standard unit. And this is where these are going to be a lifesaver. All right, any questions? I believe that, Lauren, do you see any in the chat window?
We haven't had any questions come through, but if you have some, please feel free to send those over and we can get those answered for y'all. Like I mentioned earlier, we'll be adding these products to our website today. So you'll be able to locate all of the information, including the data sheets, on our website later today. If there's not any questions, then we will wrap things up today. Keep it short and sweet. But thank you for being on for the spring launch of 24-volt products. And be looking for an email from us soon with a follow-up from today's call. All right, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.